Sorry, I didn't mean to run away with the. I didn't mean to How long was that? Too long. Well, anyway, it is Friday, and that started off as a lesson we got to this week, and kind of morphed is maybe the word I was looking for there, into a song a chord progression that you probably recognize too. Speaking of which, it is August 12th. We are down to a little over 2 weeks to camp. Getting really excited about that around here. And a lot of things going on this week. We had a couple lessons. The Paul Simon lesson on, pickless. Anyway, hope everybody liked that. And Vanessa, thanks for the cool lesson on... traditional Jewish folk song. Maybe traditional. It definitely qualifies as traditional. So, Hava, Nagila. A lot of questions and cool things going on the forum. This probably hasn't seen the light of day yet, but Craig, I really appreciate your uploading. I'm not in the right tuning, but... Daydream Believer, and there is a review in the pipeline. We're trying to get the pipeline fixed because it looks like the uploading channel wasn't quite working. So hopefully we'll have that all up and running by tomorrow, but stay tuned. The review will come out. Basically had to do with timing on this, on that little pickup thing, and most of it had to do with bass notes, some of them holding down a little bit longer, and some of them making sure you play them with the right thumb. So that's pretty much everything that's in there, but the details I hope will be up either sometime over the weekend if we're all lucky. Maybe it's even up by the time you see this. Okay, save that. Reviews. Please try using the uploader again. Jamila will let us know when it's live. We're hoping it'll be by tomorrow, Saturday. Speaking of tomorrow, Saturday, have a new DVD coming out that is kind of on finger picking, what I'm calling essential finger picking. I have students come in and they say, I want to get started on finger picking. I say, here are the first 6 songs you need to learn. This would be one of them, of course. Stuff like... Now, all of these are songs that are in the Target program, so Target members, don't even need to worry about it. But it's a kind of a graded series for somebody that really wants to get into it and have it all on a DVD rather than in streaming and things like that. So the reason I bring that up is live webcast tomorrow, Saturday the 13th at 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock on the East Coast, and everybody in Europe. Speaking of people in Europe, it was really cool to see our videos from Crete and our esteemed members, Chris and Karina. So thanks for putting up that cool stuff. Looking forward to... Oh no, just a passing fancy. And yes, we will try again next year to get a camp over there. So let's see. What else did I want to talk about? I want to get to a few other things. Talking about, there was a great question that came up just last week, right after I did the news, on country blues, but mostly how to practice hard stuff once you reach the spot where you think you're running out of technique or ability or time or something. So I'll get to that in a few minutes. I do want to answer a question about last week's improv thing, because I started off with a little opening to Dust in the Wind, Diamonds and Dust, Rust, and I forgot, I think I mentioned this on the forum later on, but I forgot to mention why I played that, and it had to do with, that turned into a song that 2 or even 3 of my students worked on, because one of them came in and said, hey, I saw Michelle playing this in her IGC intro, and didn't know what song it was, can you remind me? And then I said, yeah, it's Diamonds and Rust by Joan Baez, and then she had to learn it, and then my next student who came in, overheard us working on it, says, I gotta learn that too. So it's been the song of the week now. Thanks again to Michelle for some input that spread pretty far. Yes, and I did go back and watch that because the question was the rest of it a song? And it was pretty much improvised, but it was there were chord progressions from Man's Fate. There was a progression, especially when I got to this. That's from this. And then there was even a hint. What do you think you're hearing there? I'll leave that one up in the air because okay, enough said on that. But when I went back and watched it, I remembered, I thought that reminds me of another classic rock song from about 1970 or 71 probably. Okay, anyway, let's see. I'll get to the hard stuff. I talked about the reviews, the webcast. One thing, this is a weird little sideline. I shouldn't be doing this. If anybody wants one of these, a Totally Guitars embroidered shirt, we're getting these out for campers. So if you PM me if you'd like to get one, I'll give you the details. We can't get a lot of them, but we're putting in an order this weekend. So if anybody would like an embroidered Totally Guitars shirt, you've probably seen me wearing them, and we have okay. There's ladies ones and men's ones. Let's see. What am I up to talking about? Practicing the hard stuff. I have 3 things to say about when you're working on something that is a little bit beyond your technical ability, or so far, or this is only temporary, I hope. I have 3 things to say. Small, slow, and in time. Meaning very small chunks. Really dial in maybe just a measure, maybe just one hard combination of notes. You're trying to get from this to this. Well, somebody was working on Fire and Rain. And there's a very difficult thing in that, which is getting, the first 2 parts are not too difficult. The slide, the descending slide, but then there's a syncopated bass note where the D in the bass comes in early. This is 10 times harder than anything else that's happened so far in the measure that we've played. It's the last thing that happens in the first measure. And I wanted to start, we broke that down to one move at a time. Take it from here, even here, and just practice hitting the D at exactly the right time. Don't even worry about anything else. Making sure that it's on the and then get the D chord and freeze right there. Don't be thinking about the hammer on, anything else. Just, so in that case, it was 1 beat or even 1/2 a beat at a time, very slowly, very small little chunk, and exactly in time. You can't settle for this. Slow it down if that's what's happening. Then think about once you start getting to where you're never missing that chord, and what was happening when somebody was working on this, something like this was going on. He was thinking about moving that finger, thinking about that hammer on, and that was making the D not happen in the bass and making even the landing on the D chord not very good. So that's the advice. Slow it down, take a very small chunk, do it over and over and over till you can't miss it, and make sure you're doing it in time, though. Either with the metronome, or at least with your internal metronome, cooking along like that. Okay, I think that's all I really meant to talk about today. I'm sure I'm missing a few other things. Okay, back to the Olympics, and I'll be back next week.